full-time tomorrow. Notes from the violin drifted up to the hunting museum's 20-foot ceiling. To avoid conversation, she pretended to admire the decor, suppressing shudders at the antler trophies. Other walls were hung with medieval tapestries of gruesome hunting scenes. Meanwhile, her target stood amongst his entourage with a glass, looking bored. No suspicious contact yet. "Interesting scent you're wearing." A member of Le Vicomte's entourage had appeared at her elbow. He had periwinkle blue eyes and tousled curly hair. He offered her une coupe de champagne. "What's it called?" She sniffed. "Pureed aubergine." With her fingernail, she scraped off the splattered souvenir her 6-month-old daughter, Chloé, had left on her clutch. "A mixture of Chanel No. 5 and my own blend." She smiled flirtatiously and passed on the champagne. Not that she wasn't tempted, but this was work, and she was nursing. At last, Le Vicomte separated himself from the crowd and made toward the door. "Pardonnez-moi, monsieur." In 3 strides, she'd reached the doorway, speaking into the mic buried in her beaded collar. "Target on the move." Maxence nodded from the foyer in his valet garb. She adjusted her earwig's volume. "He's asked for his car," said Maxence. "Signals coming through clear, even with your clicking beads." "As planned." "Parfait. You'll take over from here, Maxence?" "On it." Plenty of time to make it home, dress Chloé, and get to the church for the christening. As she passed Maxence, she took some francs from her clutch and handed them to him, a tip to keep his cover. She winked at her employer, the Comte, and headed into the candlelit museum foyer, where she was taken aback by a giant taxidermied polar bear, one of the Comte's donations to the wildlife collection. Men and their trophies. She presented her scooter's keys to the real voiturier. In exchange, he handed her an envelope containing the Comte's embossed card and a check. She slid up the kickstand with her Louboutin heel and revved her loner Vespa, a bright turquoise model with more oomph than her own pink one, which was in the shop, while she navigated the cobbled courtyard. Too bad the damned A-line Courage rode up her thighs. She could get used to this scooter's power. She gunned it down Rue Beaubourg, weaving between a bus and a taxi in the street, wove around the Hôtel de Ville, then turned left along the quai, past the budding green branches of the plane trees. But a roadblock stopped traffic before she could cross Pont-Marie to the Ile Saint-Louis. What now? A strike? An accident? Police checking for drunk drivers? Her scooter stalled. Tension knotted her shoulders. She couldn't make Chloé late for her own christening. She dreaded the look on the priest's face after he'd done a favor fitting them in. She'd never live it down. As the traffic cleared, she kick-started the Vespa. Finally, she pulled into her courtyard on Ile Saint-Louis, jumped off the scooter, and ran up her apartment building's worn marble staircase. Aimée could handle it. Vraiment, she could. Telecommuting part-time from her home office, she could still manage computer security virus scans and lucrative industrial surveillance. If only she could buy 8 hours of sleep over the counter. "She's got an appetite, your Chloé," said Madame Cachou as she handed Aimée a teaspoon. The 60-something concierge had a stylish new blunt-cut gray bob. "I changed her diaper 2 minutes ago, then laid out the gown." "Ma puce," Aimée said, leaning down to kiss those cheeks and thinking again how painfully like Milac's eyes Chloé's gray-blue ones were. Those eyes reminded Aimée of her baby's father every day. As for his total lack of interest in paternity,